Hello, my name is Jasmine and I'm a student on the Masters in Songwriting at ICMP. Ideas for songs can literally come from anywhere. I notice that I have a lot of ideas when I'm travelling, say by bus or by train, and I think that's because you're on your own and you're kind of lost in your own thoughts and you're letting your mind wander. Because ideas for songs can pop up at any time, it's really crucial that you have a way of recording them. I usually do this on my phone using notes and also an app called Music Memos. And then periodically I'll transfer those into a book with other ideas that I've had. When I sit down to write, I'll usually go to this book and pick something that appeals to me in that moment to write about. It's a really good idea to have lots of ideas and lots of options, because sometimes you'll sit down and you'll be in a very specific mood and you want to feel enthusiastic about what you're writing, and feeling enthusiastic about what you're writing will help you finish it ultimately. Stuck with a song idea or a need to take something from a very vague concept to something a little bit more fleshed out or rounded as an idea, that's when a bit of research can come in really handy. I might watch a documentary, I might read around the topic, I might even listen to other artists who've written about similar things and seen how they've approached it. If I need to describe something, I might even put together a collage of pictures from the internet and use that as reference as I write to kind of develop that imagery. If I'm writing about something personal, then maybe it's a bit more alone time that's needed and a bit more thinking time, and I might take myself out on a walk, or I might take myself on a little excursion on my own to get that kind of thinking going. Studying songwriting's given me an incredible toolkit of ways of getting started with a song. One thing that I find really helpful is to plan a song holistically. So before I've even picked up an instrument, think about what it is I'm trying to say, what it is I want to communicate about that idea or that concept, and think about the song as a whole from the very beginning to the very end. Maybe even have a bit of a sketch out about the route that it might take and what sections are going to talk about what. And the reason that I think this is really crucial for me is that it speeds the process up, for one thing. It makes the process a little bit smoother, and it also just means that you don't get stuck halfway through and kind of have that sort of frustrating feeling where you don't know where to go next when maybe you've got 2 verses and a chorus. And I think that's really helpful. If I'm struggling musically, say to find a chord progression or to pick out a melody, I might choose to pick up a different instrument than I usually write with. I usually write on a guitar, but maybe I could use my limited piano skills to get going, or a bass, or even sit down at Logic and start developing a song in the digital realm. If I'm feeling really uninspired, another way that you can kind of get going with ideas is to take a song that you really love, look at the chords that are used within it, and reverse them and see where that takes you. It might take you nowhere, but it might spark some ideas and get the process going. Currently, I'm working on a large project about London and my relationship with it. This is ironic, given that this is the longest period in my whole life where I have not been into central London, I have not been on the tube and not interacted with it in any way for over 90 days. What's quite good about this is it's challenged me to approach my work differently. It's challenged me to consider different ways of writing and different ways of generating ideas, a lot of writing, free writing and object writing, and a lot of using an archive of photographs that I have to get those ideas going. It does mean that the project might be a little bit different than I had initially imagined, but it's all part of the process and part of the journey of writing. What I like to do in my writing is kind of create an atmosphere and create a lot of imagery and a lot of description that can really draw myself and the listener in to the story or to the scene that I'm depicting within my songs.